So I heard someone else talking about this yesterday, and I want to talk about my experience with aliens, and it would be Pleiadians, and I am Pleidian Starseed. It took me a while to admit that and say it with confidence, but I am. I totally am. And I want to go back to just even in my childhood, the way I've always been connected to pets. And I had this really, oh God, it makes me cry. I was thinking last night about this, and it literally brought me to tears. How I've always had a connection to the pets in the neighborhood when I grew up. We had a lot of stray tomcats that would come around because we had a female cat. Kiki was her name. My mother named her Kiki. And tomcats would come around, and through that, and we had Tina, the tuxedo cat, and then we had Buffy, the Chihuahua, who I was really bonded to, and I really loved Buffy. And almost every animal I've ever met, I've been in silent communication with. Although I didn't know it, right? All I knew was that I loved them, and they brought me comfort. And animals have brought me more comfort than probably most humans that I've ever met in my life. And even when an animal scratches you or bites, they do it out of a fear mode, but animals don't really have hatred or things like that. So I understand that, and it's, you forgive. And animals have taught me a lot of lessons and taught me patience. They've helped me evolve as a human being. But going back, so there was a stray cat in our neighborhood called Bobby. He was kind of like a striped, he kind of looked like a little bobcat, and he had a bobtail for whatever reason, maybe birth defect. Hopefully he wasn't hurt in his, kittenhood. But when he came into our lives, and I was probably like 9, 10, 11, he had a bobtail, and that's all I knew. And Bobby would fart. And that's the funny story of Bobby, is that he would walk by and fart. And I remember one time, and we let him in the house. He became our pet. He was my friend. Bobby was my friend. So one day I was laying in the living room, and it seemed like it could have been Christmas time because I wasn't in school. And I was laying on the couch. I didn't quite feel good, like my stomach hurt. And Bobby walked by, and he farted. And I said, Bobby. And then, this is what makes me cry. And then we thought to each other, haha, I love you. Like that. That moment has always stuck out to me in my life. That little silent communication that we had. I love you. We literally thought that to each other. We had a special relationship. And so here's the thing. I had, a horrible situation with my father that was so bad. I didn't even know how to use the bathroom, and that still affects me to this day, where I hold things in, like, look at my tooth. I suffered with that tooth for a year because I've learned to not feel my body sensations until it gets so bad, because I was so afraid of my father beating me and saying horrible things to me, which both happened and to my siblings and my mother. And he would do that to pets too. So, okay, what am I trying to say? Childhood, not so great. Neighbor, not so great. So we had this neighbor, this man named Mr. Thurman. And Mr. Thurman Mr. Tackett. He, like 45, had all these connections to the law in town. Thought he was a cop. He wasn't a cop. He even had the fire truck park in front of our house one day, and he wasn't a fireman. He had this weird, he would say that he was all these things, but he wasn't. He had all this false power. He also trained his 2 German Shepherds, not their fault. He trained them to be attack dogs. And when we would go out of our house to play in our backyard, I remember seeing him do it. He opened his back door, and he would let them out, and he would laugh, and they would jump the fence and then come after us. And I remember having to run and jump up on top of the swing set and make sure my feet weren't dangling, because they were snarling and barking and trying to bite my feet and attack basically a kid. And that's when I looked over too again, and I saw him laughing on his back porch. So then, because my mother complained, he did a very 45 Trumpian thing, and he sued her, saying that our Chihuahua was bad. And so Here's the long story short. He lost that lawsuit because my mother was innocent, my dog was innocent, but he killed Bobby, the bobcat, my little friend. And I remember coming home from school. We still had the gravel in our driveway, I remember, and Bobby was dead in the driveway. And Mr. Taggett said from his yard, looks like somebody poisoned him. You know, when you're a kid, there's nothing you can do. We knew that he had all this fake power and influence in town with the law. And even though he'd lost that lawsuit, he still had all these like friends in high places. And the cat was dead. Bobby was dead. My friend was dead. Nothing he could do. There's that sense of injustice, yet again, by a man. And that's what I'm seeing in 45. A lot of what he does, the same thing. Now, so my Pleidian Starseed thing is like, somebody was saying yesterday, I was going to make a video before I even saw theirs, and I saw theirs, like, oh yeah, I got to make my video too. Same thing. We're all together in this. A lot of Pleidian Starseeds are very intuitively connected to animals. Why is that? Well, it's all part of the realm. It's all part of the angelic realm. And it's part of healing. Animals are healing. Trees are healing. I don't know if trees are sentient, but I think that they have emotions. I think that they have energy and healing energy. But animals are really high frequency. That's the thing. They're high frequency. And when we raise our vibration, we connect and we can intuitively talk to each other. Karen, you know, like the walk today, we talked today. Oh, you want to go back home? Okay, let's go back home. It's too cold out here. You're right. And I'll say, you're so smart, Karen. You're so smart. My pets, they know. I don't have to say anything. And they're all in here with me right now in the room. Point being, I was going to talk about alien stuff and orbs and all that. You know, I've told you my experience. So when people say there's no such thing as orbs, there's no such thing as aliens, I do think the drones are pretty much all Leland and military. But the orbs, they're around. The Pleiadians are around to heal us. And I'll tell you what the healing I had. So I guess my whole story about animals is that I know I'm Pleidian Starseed. And this connection with animals is a huge clue to me. A lot of revelations about that recently. My experience here was that I was very depressed, probably from my childhood still, and I have body dysmorphic disorder. My mother told me I was ugly, and I still have body dysmorphic disorder, which is why I don't go on camera all the time. It's a really bad case. I don't think I'll ever get over it. And so I was really depressed, and I remember I was at a point where I didn't really want to live anymore. And I woke up at 3 a.m. and there was colored orbs flying around the room. I was scared to death, pulled the covers up over my head because I knew that they knew I was there. And I was like, what do they want? Oh my God, why is this happening? Really scared. And then next night, 3 a.m. again, 3 a.m. I wake up, colored orbs in my room again. This time I saw them and it's like, oh, she's awake. She sees us. We did our job, whatever. And then they flew out the window and I ran out of the bed, ran to the back door, saw a big light go over all the yards, trigger the neighbor's security light. The trees were waving, and then this big spotlight just disappeared in the sky. And I thought about it and I was like, they were here to heal me. They knew I was really depressed and they were here to heal me. And now I know it was probably my Pleiadian friends here to heal me because I was at an exit point in my life, a potential exit point. And so my point being, they came here to heal us too. They're here to heal us too. They healed me. That's why I'm sharing this story. I don't want you guys to give up hope. They're here to heal us too. We're not alone. So I know it's scary right now with Leland and Frump and everything, but we're not alone. They're here with us. They are healing us. And no, I wasn't on drugs. No, I don't have pictures of the orbs in the room, but it happened. And I'll tell you what, after that, I was a lot better. And that's when I started to get into angels too. And the angels, which they are, Pleiadians are, aliens are angelic realm. And that began to heal me. And I really, what happened was, I would think, I don't want to go out because I feel so ugly, and someone's going to say that I'm ugly, or someone's going to say this or that about me, and I'm so, I just can't handle it. So I was really shutting down in my life. And then I thought, but your angel loves you, and you have a guardian angel, and she thinks you're so beautiful, and she's with you whenever you go out. And anytime that you think that someone thinks that you're ugly and that you shouldn't be alive or in public, like Quasimodo, your guardian angel thinks you're beautiful, and she will put a light around you and help. And I still have to do this, by the way. It's helped heal me. That healed me so much. And I was having intrusive thoughts and, OCD and all that stuff. It really helped me. So my alien interaction put me on the path to healing. It was like an instant healing that put me on a path